take time out of your day to join us. I'm Rick Crawford. I represent the 1st District of Arkansas, and we're here for one purpose, and that is to ask the Senate to take action. We've got several of our colleagues here with us that are going to make some statements, and right now I want to recognize the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Francisco.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you all for being here today. I think it's very important that we realize that the American people sent us into the Congress of the United States to do the people's job. We have done it, and we've presented a bill to keep this government going and to fund this government through the rest of the fiscal year. Now it's time for Harry Reid and the Senate to come up and do their job, and we're here to implore the Senate to come up with something. If they've got enough time to go out there and pass bills like the March 11th National or International Plumbing Day, they can certainly look at our continuing resolution and make sure that we fund this government. So that's what we're here to do, and I thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Kiko. You'll notice to my right, 39. What that means is 39 days ago, we put forth House Resolution 1, sent that to the Senate. That was introduced on the floor under a closed rule, so they couldn't vote for that with amendments. It was a straight up and down vote. Since then, we passed a couple of CRs and sent those to the House, but the Senate's failure to act results in zero action over in the Senate, and we're asking for leadership. And it's my pleasure to welcome from Alabama, the gentlewoman from Alabama, Martha Rowe.
Thank you all for being here. The biggest barrier between the American people and a government of less spending, less borrowing, and less debt is Harry Reid and the Democrats in the Senate. We in the House are doing the job that the American people sent us here to do. We voted to repeal Obamacare, defund Planned Parenthood, shrink the EPA, remove the czars, and cut $61 billion in discretionary spending. Fact. The Senate Democrats are blocking it all. Democrats want to shift the blame and dodge responsibility. They want to frame the debate as one within the Republican caucus, but the American people are not buying it. The fight is between Republicans who want to cut Washington spending and Democrats who want to defend it. What are they defending? A 24% increase in discretionary spending and an additional $4.5 trillion in national debt. We will not settle for a split the baby strategy. The American people want real cuts, and it is time for the Senate Democrats to respond. Cutting spending removes the threat of new taxes and regulation and helps restore certainty to the economy. We need to give small business owners the confidence that they need to grow and invest and create American jobs. Doing so will help launch a new era of market-driven prosperity and opportunity for all Americans. It is time for the American people to get energized about this debate and focus their attention on the Senate, who is preventing us from getting our country back on track. Thank you.
Thank you, Martha. We were sent here to act in good faith on behalf of the American people, and my colleague from Missouri understands that. Please welcome Vicki Hartson.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for being here. I'm here today to decry the do-nothing Senate and to decry the do-nothing leadership of Senator Harry Reid. We were sent here to pass a budget, but to rein in the runaway spending and to stop mortgaging our children's future. We're doing our job in the House of Representatives. We put forth a proposal that would cut $61 billion, keep our government running, but yet make it more efficient and more effective. And yet Senator Reid won't even consider that. That is a dereliction of duty. And he won't even send forth a proposal that we can even negotiate with. And he's threatening a federal shutdown. Well, that's not our plan. Our plan is to lead, and we have led. It's time for him now to, in good faith, move forward with what needs to be done to cut spending, to pass the CR, so that we can get into talking about the 2012 budget, which is what we're supposed to be doing. I want to remind everyone that we would not even be having to have this discussion on the continuing resolution if do-nothing Senator Reid had fulfilled his duty and passed a budget last year. And that's the only reason that we, as the new freshmen, are having to deal with his mess right now. So we came here, we don't mind, we are determined to do it, and we are dealing with his mess, we're cleaning it up, and we're doing the right thing. He needs to continue to cooperate with that and to pass it as well. You know, 61% of the voters believe spending cuts are necessary, even if they're asked if you would call them extreme cuts. Well, we heard a senator yesterday say that he thinks the best strategy for the Senate is to try to paint us as extreme. Well, that's ridiculous. The American people know better. It's not extreme to keep government open and to cut spending. That's what the American people want. That's what we're doing. We call on Senator Reid to do the same.
Thank you, Vicki. I'd like to introduce the gentlelady from Tennessee, Diane Black.
Thank you. I am here today to ask Senator Reid, Harry Reid, and the Senate Democrats to get their act together. The House Republicans produced a bill, not one, not two, but three. We were sent here clearly by the American people. Last November when they voted, they made it clear that they wanted us to cut the budget, to cut the deficit, and start paying down our debt. The House has done its job, as I say, 3 times. Now we're asking Harry Reid to step up and be a leader. We're asking for him to send us something that we can look at. We're asking him to move this conversation forward. The House has done its job. Now I challenge the Senate to do the same.
Thank you, Diane. Please introduce my colleague from Kansas, the gentleman Mike Pompeo.
Good morning. Thanks for coming out on this beautiful cherry blossom day that we have before us. You know, 90 days ago, I was in the private sector running a small business. When faced with a challenge, it was never an option to do nothing. You responded. When a customer needed help, you responded. When a supplier had a challenge, you met that need. I came to Washington, D.C. because our government spending money it does not have. And I've been part of a great freshman class in a House of Representatives that has taken that challenge very, very seriously. And yet each thing we do goes to the other side of Capitol Hill and nothing happens. So they can pass legislation relating to Statuary Hall and our dear President Ford. They can pass all kinds of silly things, but not take on the people's work. We don't need senators defending cowboy poets. We need them taking seriously the financial crisis that the 111th Congress left for the folks who came here in January.
Thanks, Mike. Once again, I do appreciate your time, taking time to come out and hear our concerns. We're asking Senator Reid one thing: pass a bill. Be a leader. We need leadership right now. We're here as leaders of our district. We're here to ask the Senate to take action and to help us help our country. We have a lot to talk about, but failure is not an option. We're not here to try to shut down the government. We're here to reform the way the government does business. And do nothing in the Senate is not an option. We're going to take this over to the Senate steps. We're actually going to deliver the letter right now to Mr. Reid. If you want to join us, you're welcome to. You and I and the members are going to go over there.
Senator Reid, you know, there's no one here to meet us. That's rude. Geez, I don't understand that.
This is our official delivery to Mr. Reid. Pass a bill. Let's get something done. We got to get our country moving forward. It's time for inaction. It's over. We need leadership in the Senate.